Hello everyone, welcome to the SDA Lab on eVenture. This is the logical topology. You can see there is DNAG, ICE and Windows 2019 server. So assign this IPs, okay? And we have a fusion switch which is EIOS. Okay, let me show you the version of it. Don't get confused what to use. Okay. The version is 15.2. Okay. And let's check the version of the Cat 9 KV. So it will show version, it is 17.18.2. Okay. So this is the version and it is pre-configured with the DNA advantage license. You don't need to, rebuild. Okay, it already contains the DNA advantage license. So now you need to configure this IP on Fusion facing the, okay, these are my addressing scheme. So first of all, I'll go to the Fusion. The interface facing the DNAT ICE. I'll say no switch port and IP address 192.168.1.50. I'm using it. Okay, and we need a default route to reach the outside network. 192.168.1.1 is my gateway. Let me show you actually. These are the VMs, EVE, ICE, and DNAC 2.3.5. I'm using 2.3.5. Okay, where the underlay will be predefined. Okay, not using the LAN automation. So underlay will be defined. So let's ping the ICE. Okay, I can reach ICE. Let's ping the DHCP server. I can reach it and let's ping the, okay, 200, 201 and 202. Okay. So first of all, we need layer 3 handoff. For layer 3 handoff, we require the fusion router and the border router. Okay, these two, okay, must be connected, okay, via a trunk. Okay, via a trunk, and we'll do that. We'll configure that. The fusion interface with 01. Switch port trunk encapsulation dot one Q. Switch port mode trunk. Okay. And let's create the VLAN 99. I'm using the VLAN 99 between the border router and border switch and the fusion switch. Okay. So VLAN 99. Create the VLAN 99. Give the IP address 10.1.99.1.355. 255.255.253. Okay, no sir. It's up and running. Let's jump on to switch 1. This is the border. It will be acting as a border switch, border and control plane. Okay, BCB, whatever you call it. The connect key. We have to create VLAN 99. Exit. Interface peak 1/0/1 facing the interface to the fusion switch. We say switch port mode run. No shut. And we create interface VLAN 99. IP address 10.1.99.3, 255.255.255.252. Okay, I know that. Yes, so let's check the IP interface brief. Okay, so it is up. So let's pin the fusion switch. Okay, it can reach it. Now, let's configure the underlay IPs on all the switches. Switch 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so let me just go and this is topology. This is the topology. I'm using it for this lab. Okay, so we have created VLAN 99 between the fusion and the border router. These are edge devices. Okay, their fabric rule is edge. This is border and control. So we need to run some IGP protocol. So we'll be running ISIS. We'll be running ISIS. That is best recommendation by Cisco. So let's run the ISIS. Okay. And remember, your switch must be in the transparent mode. So let's check the mode, show UTP status. It is in the server mode. I'll get the transparent mode transfer. Okay. And we will run the ISIS. Okay. So let me check the netcell ID. So I'll just change it, copy and paste it on Fusion. Okay. And I will advertise the interface. Interface VLAN 99. IP router ISIS 1. Interface big 00 also the outer interface. Okay. Into ISIS. Clear? So now configure ISIS on switch 1. Okay. And I need to configure the interfaces which are facing switch 2 and switch 3. I need IPs on this interfaces. Okay. So I will configure that interface big 1/0/3 switch 4 IP address 10.1.12.1. Interface big 1/3 not switch 4 IP address 10.1.13.1 Okay, this is done. We need loopback interfaces. We need, because we will be discovering the devices via DNAT on the loopback interfaces. So let's configure loopback interface. Okay, so our IP address 100.1.1.1. Okay. And I need to advertise them in ISIS. So IP router ISIS 1. Interface VLAN 99. IP router ISIS 1. Interface with 1/2. 2. Okay, so this is that. I think so. So ISIS neighbor, you will see only one neighbor for now because experience with each configuration. Okay, yes, there is. I am with the fusion switch. There is a neighborship. So let me go here and let's create first interface VLAN interface loop 0 IP address 100.1.1.3 255 255 255. Okay, let me go on 052 no switch port IP address 7.1.12.3. Okay, let me configure the ISIS. Let me change the net cell ID. Okay, let's jump on to the back and run ISIS. It is up. Same thing we do it on after switch 3, sorry. Interface with back. 100.1.1.1. Okay, and the IP is 10.1.13.3. Okay, done. Let's configure the ISIS. Okay, so let's see the ID. So let's wait for the ISIS neighbors to come up. There is a neighborship there up and running. Great. Okay, so actually, I have configured the SNMP version 2 with the read and write community. It is already, I have tested it before starting this lab. So remember, you need to configure this and you need a username and password, right? I'm using username is netadmin and password is Cisco at 123. Clear? So I will proceed further. What is the next step? Now, the next step is to configure. Let's ping first, check the reachability of DNAT. Okay, 200 is the DNAT. Via source loopback 0. Can you reach it or no? Yes, you can reach it. Okay, so ping 192.168.1.200, which is DNAT. Source loopback 0. Yes, we can reach it. So we can read from all the switches, we can read the DNAT. Okay, so clear? So now we need to start the ICE and DNAT integration. ICE and DNAT integration. Okay. So we require to log in into ICE. Remember, ICE CLI password and the graphical user interface password must match. Okay. So I've already started the ICE. ICE is up and running. Okay. you can see that ICE has 201 as the IP address. So first thing, what you need to do is to go to your administration, go to settings, go to settings and go to protocols. On protocols, we are going to use radius. So we don't want unnecessary suppression of failed clients and all. So we'll remove all this. Save it. Okay, next step, you need to go to the API settings where we will enable our RESTful APIs. Okay, save it. And the last, but the most important, is you go to deployment. Okay, you go to deployment, click on your ICE. Okay, this will require, we'll copy this. And you enable the EX grid, protocol exchange grid. You enable it. Okay. So it will take few minutes, few seconds. Okay, it's 3.1 is little faster than 2.7. ICE 3.1 is fast. Okay, so let's wait for some time. Okay, so let's jump to region is done. Okay. Let's jump to DNet. Okay, it's not up yet. Yeah, now it's. I'm using 2.3.5.5. 2.3.5.5. Okay. So in this, you have to go to the systems, settings, go to authentication and policy services, add ICE, type the IP of ICE, that is 192.168.1.201. Shared secret is same. Username is admin. ICE password you need to put here. That is what Cisco at 123. I have set it to same. Okay. And FQDN. As I told you, remember we require this FQDN. Okay. So we require this. I'll copy this, paste it, and enable the EX grid. So initially it will ask for certification. Okay. So DNAC is not trusting it. We have to trust the certification. Cert from ICE, accept it, and wait. Done. So you can see it is in activate state. Now, next step, you need to go under policy, go to group base, okay, and you can see here there is a start migration button. So you start migrating. It will take few seconds. Let's wait. Okay, it's completed, and whatever the groups are there, you can see the groups are present on ICE is showing here. Okay. So ICE integration is done. That's it. It's so simple. Now let's go to DNA and we need to create an hierarchy. Okay, a network hierarchy. So let's say we are in global now. I can add an area. Okay, say London. add it. Under that, I will add a building called HQ. Okay, and let's give some address. 10 Downing Street. Okay. So I have London HQ. Okay. I have globally I have London. Under London, I have a building called HQ. Okay. So you need the hierarchy. Okay. Now go to design and go to network settings. Okay. So network setting, click on global. Click on the right hand side, there is add server, AAA server. If you use network, that means it will use TechAX. If you use client endpoint, it will use Radius. Okay, so already we had discovered this, integrated this DHCP server. Now remember, my DHCP server is Windows 2019, which has an IP 192.168.1.202. Domain name we will give Cisco. Primary address of DNS is 192.1.202. Okay. And GMT, you can start with Europe, London. Okay. I can start with the time zone and save it. Okay. So automatically, when you jump to the sites, it will inherit it. Okay. It will inherit it, all those features. Okay. Now let's go to global. Create the device credential. Remember, we used some initial configuration username. This is your CLI. Okay. NetAdmin is your username and Cisco at 123 is your password. Second three, you are using RO, community RO with a key public. Okay. So you can do that here. You can assign it, assign, say CLI. I can give a name, net cat 9KB. Okay. My username is netadmin. The password is Cisco123. Yes, it will show. Okay. Enable also, I'll keep it as Cisco123. Assign to global site. Save it. Okay. Let's go to SNMP U3. Okay. So let's say RO. It is RO. The key is public. Let's add SNMP right community RW. This is private. Okay, now I have here assigned it. Okay. These credentials are used to access the devices. Okay. Access the devices. So the devices are pre-configured with show run section user. You can see the name, netadmin, okay, the CLI, and you can see the SNM. Okay, this is what I have configured. Okay, so now it's time to carve out some address pool. Okay, so in our topology, if you see that this will be the data, the clients, which will be my overlay. Okay, and this interest will be my underlay. Okay. So I can create two pools of class B address. Let's name it as it is overlay. Okay. Type is generic, means data type. Okay. We are not doing any LAN automation here. Okay. So 110.17.16.0.0. Okay. Save it. Add one more, which is for underlay. And it will be 172.20.0. Okay. Slash 16. That's it. So we have two address pool. Okay. One is for underlay, one is for overlay. Underlay is for between the fusion and the border outer. Okay. So we can create a pool also, but let's do that later. I don't want to hurry up. Okay. So it is done. So let's jump to this DNA and let's jump to tools. Okay. In tools, we'll have discovery. Okay. Add discovery, enable it. You can give any name here if you want to give, otherwise keep it as default. I'm keeping it as default. These are the loopbacks. You remember we used it on the Cat 9K. Okay. Next, these are the device credential we created. Remember, okay, RO, RW, okay, and netconf I want to enable. Okay, so I'll just give a name, netconf, and port number is always 830. Remember that. Okay, and now we can assign it directly to a site or we can skip it. We can assign it or okay, so we'll assign it to our HQ. Next, 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 and now it will discover the devices. So let's see the discovery. It is queued. Okay, then it will show it in progress. So it takes time. So let us pause the video starting. We can see it starting. So let's pause the video for 2 minutes. So we can see now it took seven minutes for the device to be discovered. Let's check the devices. Yes, we can see that device switch 1, switch 2, and switch 3 are discovered. Now let's go to provision. Go to inventory, and in inventory you will see these devices. Okay. Sometimes name is not shown, so you have to wait. You have to wait. Select all these devices. Go to action. Go to provision. Provision the device. Okay, it is to HQ all the site. HQ is the site. Okay, and we apply. Now let's wait till the task finishes. Okay, so I'll once again pause the video. It is time taking because this is a virtual device, Cat 9 kV, not real one. So it takes time. So let me pause the video. So we can see that now the device has been provisioned. What do you mean by provision? Is that there are some, you can see that there are some configuration is pushed by. So let's check A like AAA. You will see that a lot of configuration has been pushed. Okay. You must, when you discover, then you must provision the device. It's a must. Okay. These are the uh, configuration pushed by DNAC. Okay, which was not there. Okay, you can see that SNN is tapping all the things. Okay, so okay, this is done. Now let's come to a topology here. The border node. border node, okay, border control node will go out of the fusion router, right? That's why it's called a fusion. Fusion between the outer out network, okay, from the inside. So this is a fusion switch. I'm using a switch. So we need to have some address pool between them, configured between the switch 1 and fusion router. Okay, there should be some configuration, some IP configuration, right? We have VLAN 99, but that's not sufficient. Correct? Because when DNAT configures, it configures VNs. VNs means VRFs. Nothing but VRF. Okay, VRF. So we need to configure something. Okay, some address pool, right? So we'll create an address pool here. Go to design, network settings, go to address pool, go to HQ. Okay, and we'll reserve an address pool called fusion border. Okay, fusion border, and it is from the underlay pool. I'm calling it underlay. I'll take a prefix length of /24. Okay, IP subnet is 172.20.1.0. I don't require any gateway for this. Okay, so we created. Now let's finish creating all the pools, because as you can see here, I will put this PC into IT. Let's say we have two VRFs, IT and guest. Okay, so I need to configure these VRFs. Okay, some IP. So in IT, I have two networks, like 172 IT data 1. Let's say data 1, data 2. Okay, so data 1 is having 172.16.1.0. Data 2 is having 172.16.2.0. Likewise, in guest, we have two guests. Okay, so let's say this is guest 1 and guest 2. So this is 172.16.3.0. This is 172.16.4.0. Okay, /24. All are in 24. So we create this pool also. Okay, but this pool will be assigned IP from the DHCP server. It will assign, the DHCP server will assign the IP. Okay, DHCP server here, which is sitting here, which is Windows 2019 in our topology. Okay, you can see here Windows 19, Windows 2019. Okay, this is our DHCP server. If you want to check, I can show you what I have configured here. Let me take the launch remote console. Okay, and let me put my password. Okay, so you can see here the server manager is starting, and you can check the manage, tools, DHCP, and I have configured DHCP here. Okay, IPv4, and you can see there are scopes. There are different scopes. Okay, IT data, sales data. So sales, instead of sales, we use, let's say we are using some other interface. Okay, These are some old configuration lying here also because I had done some land automation also. So these are the DHCP pool. Okay. So we need to carve out that. Okay. So let's go to HQ. Fusion border we have created. Let's create IT data one. Okay. It's a generate tool. We will carve out from overlay. Prefix length is 24. Okay, IP subnet is 172.16.1.0 as we see here. Okay, 172.16.1.0. Okay, gateway is 172.16.1.1, which is configured on the DHCP server. Okay, what is my DHCP server? Was 202. Okay, so this is that. Okay, similarly, I'll reserve a pool for IT data 2. Global pool. IP prefix length is /24. Subnet is 172.16.2.0. Gateway is 172.16.1.2.1, sorry. DHCP server 202. DNS server 202 reserve. Okay. Then we have guest network, right? So let's say guest. Guest. Let me put it in. Guest data one. Okay. Global pool is this. Prefix length is 34. IP subnet is 172.16.3.0. Gateway is 172.16.3.1. DHCP server is 202, 192.168.1.202. So this is done. Let's create one more. Guest data 2. Okay. Let's have a prefix length of /24. IP subnet is 160.4.0. Gateway is 4.1. DHCP server is 202. This is done. Okay. So all the network has been done, device have been pro. Now let's go to the provision. This is the important one of the important tab. Okay. So first of all, see, you can do your LAN automation plug and play here, but we are using virtual device, so LAN automation won't work. Okay. At least on this version, it won't work. So that's why we are doing manually. So first of all, we need to create a transit network. What is a transit network? Transit network is this. The link between fusion and border is your transit network. Okay. Link between fusion and border is your transit network. So we will create that. Okay. It should be IP based. We are not using any SD access. Okay. Lisp pops up. Okay. By default, it supports only one protocol, BGP, and what the autonomous system number you have to give. For this router, I will give the fusion switch, I will give 65001, and for border, I will give 65002. Okay. So Okay. So let's do that. 65001. I will give a name, which I didn't. I can name it as Fusion. The transit network is ready. Now all my PCs will be either in IT VRF or in the guest VRF. Okay, in IT VRF we have data 1, IT data 1, IT data 2. In guest VRF we have guest data 1, guest data 2. Okay. So this is, let's say this is for IT1, this is guest 1, this is IT1, IT2, guest 2. Okay. I'll put this in there. So we need to create two VRFs, IT and guest. So how do we create that? We go to virtual networks, create virtual networks. We'll name it as IT underscore VN and create one more is GUST guest VN. Okay. So we have created VNs. Now, final, we have to create the fabric side. Okay. So let's create the fabric side. It is our HQ. Next. Next. I want close authentication. It should be authorized via ICE. Okay. Set up the fabric zones later. Next. Deploy. Okay. So now I'll exit from here. I'll go to fabric side. I can see HQ is my fabric side. And I can say devices. Now I can see the device is connected, physically connected. Same like what we have in the topology, correct? Like this. So next thing is host onboarding, which you have to remember. Okay, host onboarding. And we are already using closed authentication, no problem. We'll go to virtual networks. Okay, add a virtual networks. We'll have guest, infra, and IT. This is by default okay, default is already there. We are not going to use it. Okay, we'll use it infra. Okay, for the border and fusion router. Guest VN and IT VN. Okay, so there are two VRF will be created. Okay, guest VN. So I had a pool of okay, for guest. Okay. Now here you have to be very careful what name you give, because this name will be used by DNAC. Okay, the traffic is data. Okay, add it. Add one more. Guest data 2. Name it as guest data 2. Traffic is data. Deploy. Apply. Let's wait for a few seconds. It will come up. Till now, we have not applied anything to the switches. We'll be doing that. Since we are using virtual devices, that's why it is taking time. Otherwise, on real devices, it doesn't take much time. Okay. Okay. Then infra VN, we keep it as default. We don't add anything. Okay. because we have created a pool for it, carved a pool for it. ITVN, yes, we need to add it. Okay, so the address pool is IT data one. Okay, I name it as IT data one. Traffic is data. Add one more. VLAN name ID data two. VLAN ID you can specify, but I'm not specifying. Let it be on its own. You know, automatically it will generate. Okay, so yeah, I have to select it. Traffic is data. Deploy. Okay. So this is now it will turn into blue. That means you have created and you can see the VLAN ID by default what it is taken. Okay. Clear? So now you go to fabric infrastructure. Okay. Go to switch one, control plane. Yes, it is. Relays and BGP we are using. Border node. Yes. Layer 3 handoff. What is the autonomous system? 65002. Okay, I want to import the external routes. The transit network is IP Fusion. Okay, external, there is this network I am using it. Okay, and add external interface. Which interface will be this? This interface will be this F gig 01, gig 1/1, 1/0/1. Okay, so it is that. Okay. Guest VN, infra VN, IT VN. Okay. So let's name it some VLAN. Okay, so let me say guest VN as 3001, infra as 3000, and this is as 3002. I'm just randomly giving any number, but I'm starting with 3000. Okay, then 3001 and 3002. There is a reason behind it. I'll show you. Okay, so add, and then you click on your devices, add other devices, I think we need to re-provision the device. I think we will send an error. If not, then we have to, because I have this. Yes. So no, nothing to worry about it. You just go to the provision tab, inventory. Okay, select all devices and new provision. It is asking to re-provision. Okay. This is in the virtual lab. You will face this problem. Let's see the task. Okay. Once it's complete, then we'll go back. Okay. So I'll pause for here for 2 minutes. So guys, it's all provision again. So we have to redo the things. Let's go to fabric site. Go to HQ. Select switch one, control plane, add, border, layer 3 handoff. Autonomous system is 65002. Import the external routes. Transit network is this. We'll be using this address pool. That's why, see, we have got the address pool initially. Okay. External interface. Okay. Yes, infra. Yes, I will use 3001, 3002. Let's reverse it. 3000 for infra, and for IT, let's say 3001. Save it. Add, Click on switch 3. Assign the role as edge node. Switch to assign the role as edge node. And now you deploy. So now you won't get any error. You can see the device is in blue. So it will take time. It will take time. So meanwhile, we will see it is in progress. So meanwhile, we'll configure the ICE as a radius server. Okay. So you have to go into ICE, into administration, and you have to go to the groups, identity management groups. You have to create groups. Okay. So I'll create group IT1, IT data 1. Let me IT data 1. Add IT data 2. These are just names, groups name. Okay. Then guest data 1. Guest data 2. Okay. So now you have created 4 groups. Okay. IT1, IT2, guest 1, guest 2. Okay. Now you go to the identities. Here is where you create the username and the password for the end devices. Okay. So we'll add, okay, we'll give a name, username IT1. Okay. Let me just type the password if I don't, so I don't make any mistake. Okay. This is the password. Then I'll go to the internal user. I'll give the password as Cisco123 here also. And I'll associate the group with it. Okay. So it is IT1 submitted. Okay. Let's go to IT2. Create one more user called IT2. I'm using the same password. Change the group to IT data 2. Submitted. Okay. Let's add one more group. It is guest 1. GUST. Yes. Okay. And put it into the guest 1 data 1. And guest 2. Guest data 2. Submitted. Okay. So you can see all the identity group and the users. This will be the username and the password for the end users, which are the host connected. Actually, there are Linux machine connected here. Okay, so they have to log in using this username and password. Next thing, we go to policy. Okay, let's check how much it is. Okay, it is. See, you can see there, there's some configuration has been pushed by the DNAC. Okay, so let it get run. Okay, meanwhile, we'll go to the administration, go to the policy, go to result, and we'll create authorization profile. Okay, we add a profile, let's say IT1 profile. Okay, now comes the main part here is that you have to select the VLAN and name the VLAN. Use the name used by, okay, what is the name used actually? What is the name used? Do you remember that? The name used. Yeah, the name used is in virtual network, right? So IT for IT, it is IT data 1, IT data 2 for IT data 2. Okay. So likewise, we have to do it. So let's jump to identity service and it is IT data. You have to give the exact name for the VLAN. You have to be very careful. Okay, that's it. ID data 1, submit it. Okay, so there is IT1 profile, then IT2 profile. Okay, give the name IT data, exact the VLAN name. I'll show you that VLAN is created. Let's go to name. Yes, one prof. Okay, what is the, let's check if this configured. Not yet. So then is guess data 1. Submitted. Okay. So you can see that guest 1 profile. Now last profile. Guest 2 prof. And the VLAN name is data. Submitted. Okay, this is done. Still the DNAC is running. Okay, so let's wait. And now let's continue with the identity service. So what we did there first here is to create what we created a group, then identity. Here we used name, okay, like IT1, data 1 or something like that. IT1, I think so. IT1, IT1 with the password Cisco at 123. Okay. So likewise, we create for IT2, guest 1, guest 2. Okay, so we created like that. Next thing, we went to the authorization profile and we created authorization profile. Okay, now the last part, go to the policy set. Policy sets and you create the authorization policy. Okay, so let's create an authorization policy, insert a row above. Let's name it as IT data 1. Okay, let's configure the authorization. What attribute we want? We want identity groups, right? Because we created identity groups. Okay, the name of the group was IT data 1. Okay. And we are using wired.1x. So you drag and drop it. Okay. And don't save it, but say use it. Okay. And it is for which profile? It is for IT data 1 profile. Okay. Same thing. Duplicate a row below. Okay. I'll change the name here and change the group name here. Okay. Use it. Change the profile here. IT2 prof. Okay. Insert a new row below. Okay. I'll name it as guest data 1. Select the identity group and you have to select the group name. Okay. Select the name, so guest data 1, and we are using .1qx. Okay. And use it. Okay. Duplicate this. Yeah, one. And we have to give the profile. We have created profile. So now we copy this, duplicate below. Okay. To change it, we need to change only to data to use it. You have to remove it off and check it from. Okay. This is done. You can see here IT1 profile, IT2 profile, guest 1 profile, guest 2 profile. That's it, and we save it. And hopefully, let's go to check our task. Task, you can check it from activities and tasks. Okay, so now fabric is modified and you will see the VLANs created. So VLAN. You can see that these VLANs are created. Okay, same thing on, let's check on switch 3. Show VLAN. You can see that the VLANs are created. Okay. So it is done. Actually, till CCI Enterprise Infrastructure Lab, it is done. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is to start the PC. Not start the PC, sorry. We have to use the layer 3 handoff between Fusion and border. Layer 3 handoff, okay? We have to configure that because the inside network, the fabric network must reach the outside and it is reaching through border and Fusion. Okay. So you will see that border is configured with some VRF. We created, right? We created two VRFs, guest VLN, VN, and ITVN. Okay, this is what we configured on DNAC, right? It pushed the configuration here. So we need to exactly replicate except the IP address, all the configuration. There is a BGP configuration also is configured, right? So I'll copy this. I'll go to the entire notepad. I'll paste it. Okay. We don't want management. Okay. These are the two VMs we want, VRFs we want to be configured on the Fusion router. Okay. Fusion switch. So I'll go and configure it. Okay, just copy paste it. Okay. Now give the IP addresses. Okay. So if I check show IP interface brief, I can see there are three VLANs are created with different IPs. Okay. So let's jump on to show run interface VLAN 3000. Okay. So this is the interface. Okay. So I change the name to border. Okay. Change the IP dot two. Okay. No shut. Let's go to check VLAN 3000. Okay. It is in ITVM. The border must be dot six. Okay. You can make it out from the subnet mask. It is used. Okay. And no shut. Okay. And last one is VLAN 3002. 3002. This must be 10. The border router, no shut. Okay. Copy this and paste it on the Fusion router. You change the IP address. Remember, you change the IP address to match. Okay. So you can see it is coming up. And I told you I'm using transparent mode because I'm using VLAN number more than 2000. So this is done. Now we have to most important is copy the BGP. Okay. So this is BGP. Let's do it. Okay. So first of all, it is 65001. I don't want all these commands. Okay. Neighbor is dot one. Remote is 65002. Okay. VLAN is correct. Okay. And I want my networks to be advertised, which 10.1.99.0, which is outside with a mask of 252, and 192.168.1.0. Okay, this I need to be advertising. Okay, I don't want redistribute layups matrix. I don't want that. That's all done by the DNAT. Okay. I don't want address pricing table. I don't want this. And then I don't want weight also. I use default originate to reach the outside network. Okay. Now again, I will copy this network, and for the guest VN, I'll remove it and I'll paste it. Okay. I'll remove this aggregate address, list metric, and I'll change the IP to 9, change the remote AS, 9, and I don't wait. Instead of that, I'll say default originate. Okay. I remove this, then URL. Okay. I'll use remote. IPS 5.5. Okay. So this is BGP is ready. Let me check again. 6501, 6502, 6502, 6502, 951. Okay. So this is good to go. Let me copy it and let me paste it on the Fusion router. It's this. Oh, sorry, I am doing it on the wrong router. Oh, I need to go on the Fusion. I didn't see. Okay, so this is where I have to paste it. Okay, so let's wait for the BGP to come up. And yes, we have to create the VLANs, which I didn't do it. So let's create the VLANs. Now it will come up. Let's wait for it. BGP is slow protocol. You know, everybody knows that it's a slow protocol. Okay. So let's pause the video for 5 minutes. So you can see that our BGP neighborship is up on Fusion router. So IP BGP, which is in infra. Okay. So IP BGP summary. Okay. So I'm getting this network. Okay. Show IP BGP VPN V4 all summary. I can see my interfaces. Now these are interfaces created, sub interfaces created on our topology, right? On this. These are the sub interfaces created between Fusion and border. Okay, these are the interfaces created. There are three interfaces created. Okay, one for infra, one for IT, one for guest. Okay, and we are having, so if I check on switch one, so IP route VRF ITVN, I am receiving the default route because we use default originate. Okay, but I cannot ping VRF ITVN my outside network. Okay, unreachable. It's showing unreachable. So that means that from Fusion, we require to leak, do the route leaking. Do the route leaking in the VRFs. Okay, the global table will be leaked into VRFs. Okay, so what two networks we want to leak? Okay, first is the network we want to leak. We'll create a prefix list for it. IP prefix list. Let's name it as global permit. And I want to leak my VLAN 99, okay, plus 30. And I want to leak 192.168.1.0, which is my outside network slash 24. Okay, I'll call a route map. Again, I give the same name, global permit 10, match IP address, prefix list, global. Okay. And now I'll leak it into the VRFs. We'll show run section VRF. Okay, so I'll go under VRF guest. I'll say import IPv4 unicast map and map name, that is route map name. Okay. Same thing, I'll do it for ITVM. Okay. And let's check it on switch one. If we are getting the routes on. Not yet. Let's wait for the route to get propagated. Not yet. Yeah, now I can see it is there. 10.1.99 and 192. Now let's ping. Let's ping. Can I reach it? No. I cannot reach it, but now I'm not receiving the error message that unreachable. Okay. So what is missing? Actually, the missing is that we need to lead the route into global table. Correct? Whatever routes are here, whatever routes are here into VRFs, okay, and the for the IT networks and the guest network must be reachable, right? It should be reachable. So for that, we'll check show run interface VLAN 3000. Okay, so it is 1.2. So it is reachable actually. This is reachable by the global one. What we want to reach is we route to the 172.16.1.0, 255.255, which is the guest, data VLAN 3001, right? Then 2 is also, then 3 is VLAN 3002. And to show run interface VLAN 3001. This network we must reach, right? This is 4 network. So the IP route 172.20.4.0, 1.4.0, 255.255.255.252 via VLAN 3001. Okay, and from 3002 it is 8. This is the reverse path. Okay, you will understand when you do the lab. Let's ping it so I can reach it. Let's ping the DNS server, DHCP server. So it can reach it. Okay, so now it is almost done. Let's go to PC and we disconnect it. Start the PC, edit connection, go to wired connection, .1x security, enable it. Okay, my name is ID1, password is Cisco at 123. Let's check the password. Yes, Cisco 123. Paste it, save it, okay, and connect it. So it has received an IP address. Let's check the IP address. IP head. So I can see that it has received 172.16.100.24. Okay. So the next PC, we will put it into guest, guest one, guest data one, right? Okay. So let me edit the connection, wired connection. Okay. Say, remember we created this Cisco at 123. Let's connect it. It's taking time. I don't know. Okay, start. So we have received an IP. It should be from CRE 172.3. Okay, IP. Yeah, see, it is from CRE. Okay, so let's do for the other routers, other hosts. Let's start them. I'll put this into IT. I'll put into IT2. Okay. This is for IT2. So let me do that. Let me jump on disconnect. Right click, edit connection, right connection, not one at security, enable it. Name is IT2. Password, I kept it the same because if I don't keep the same, I'll forget it. Okay. This is done. Let's check whether this is IP or not. Yeah, it has received the IP. I'm watching this. Okay, so let's check IP at. So it is from 2.1. Yeah, correct. Okay. And let's keep this PC into guest 2. Let's check. It will receive IP in few seconds. Okay, so it has received the IP. Let's check the IP. Okay, so it has received 401. So let's ping the other guest VRF, which is 172.16.3.101. Okay, you can reach it, but you cannot reach the 1.0. Okay, because they are in different VRFs. Okay, IT is in the same VRF, We have done the macro segmentation, not micro segmentation. Okay, still we need to do that. But today, for now, it is enough to understand the lab. So thank you guys. I'll see you with the land automation lab. Okay. I'm testing on it. Once it gets successful, I will upload it. Okay, guys. Thank you.